we have to start with our panel 2. And the topic for this one is 2023 Best Practices and Innovations in Workshop Productivity and Profitability. And to participate in this discussion, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Vitaly Chebotarenko, Country Manager, Vehicle Repair and Maintenance, Henkel, India. Welcome, sir. Did I pronounce your name correctly? Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, he has 18 years of experience in automotive chemical solutions, sales management, business development, technical sales, marketing, experience with OEMs, Tier 1, 2, 3 OES, open aftermarket on the territories of Eastern and Central Europe, CIS, Middle East, Africa and India. Welcome, sir. Next, can we have Mr. Naveen Gupta again, the founder and CEO of Intellinet Systems. He's a visionary leader dedicated to creating impactful global products for the automotive and OEM sectors. His career showcases a commitment to innovation, talent development, and pushing technological boundaries, consistently surpassing industry standards in aftermarket software solutions. Welcome back, sir. Next, may I have the pleasure to call on stage Dimple Mehta, Customer Care Domestic and International at Tata Motors PV. He brings in 25 plus years expertise spanning startups, Force Motors, Case New Holland, Honda, MG Motors. AB Tech graduate, he excels in customer care, network enhancement and dealer management, driving cost reductions and software implementations. Known for his entrepreneurial leadership, he navigates global HQs, adeptly fostering cross-cultural collaboration. He's a B.Tech and his experiences involves working in diverse roles of customer care, network development and enhancement, dealer management, systems and implementation, and after sales. Outside work, his passion includes cricket, sketching, photography, dixing and driving. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome him again with a round of applause, please. Next one to be called on stage is Mr. Vikrantt Mohan, National President, All India Automobile Workshops Association, IAWA. Welcome, sir. With more than 40 years in the automotive industry, Mr. Mohan is the initiator and national president of IAWA. He has conducted training programs and lectures for the Central Government Defense Organization, Lions Clubs, college students, engineering undergraduates, as well as entrepreneurs in the automobile service industry. He's also the founder of the Automobile Service Providers Academy and live member of the Andhra Pradesh Motor Sports Club and the Hyderabad Management Association, as well as a member of the Telangana Automobile Dealers Association and the Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Welcome, sir. Next to be called on stage is Mr. Vashist, MD Satyam Group of Companies. Can we have you here, sir? An engineer by profession, Mr. Vashist founded Satyam International in 1999 with complete solutions related to workshop design, garage equipment, air, lube, paint, washing and environment solutions, etc. pan-India. In 2014, he founded Sparsh Autotech Private Limited. The company won several awards, including 3M Winners Award 9 times in a row. He implemented SHE for better safety, health and environment for his employees and scope the Sham Center of Professional Excellence for industry-oriented programs. We welcome you, sir. And last but not the least, let's call the man behind the whole show, Mr. Anuj Guglani, founder and CEO, WAF Group. Mr. Anuj is a multidisciplinary professional, founded the World Auto Forum WAF in 2009, armed with an engineering degree from Nagpur University, an MBA from IIT Delhi and LLB from Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. He has been pivotal in establishing WAF as the leading global platform for the auto and mobility industry. Anuj is also the co-founder of Jaldi EV, an e-commerce platform for EVs, and the author of the acclaimed book Oi hoy. So here I give it over to Mr. Anuj Guglani. And thank you so much. And keep the synergies going. Clap because you are all awesome. Please clap for yourselves, clap for your people, clap for your fellows. And I give it all to Mr. Anuj now.
Thanks a ton, Deepti. So friends, how was the lunch? Lunch was fine? Everything in order? Roti garam mili? Chawal theek the? Should we discuss lunch, the menu? What say? Because after lunch, any which ways, the blood gets transferred from the brain to the stomach, so eyes are getting drowsy. And, you know, just as if somebody has put weights, dumbbells over the eyelids. So, but don't worry, we have a fantastic power panel here to jumpstart each one of us. So, jumpstart is our industry's term. So, let's get jump-started by this very, very important topic, that is the innovations, case studies, and the best practices of workshops. बड़ी बड़ी बातें हमने बहुत कर ली हैं, वो भी ज़रूरी हैं. But at the end of the day, as I had mentioned in the morning too, the buck stops at the workshop, at that particular bay, at that particular technician, at that service advisor. How well we have empowered them with the right training, with the right tools, the right inputs, the right SOPs, the right culture. Yes or no? The right working ambience, the right uniform. When I was in Honda, like this is like more than 2 decades back, so now you know, you can guess my age now. So at that time, when I joined, I was shocked and surprised to know that the uniform of the workshop technicians is pure white. I said, how would they work? Man, it'll get dirty. What? Who did this illogical thing? This is completely unreasonable. It's nonsense. That is when my Japanese boss whispered in my ear, Anuj-san, if they follow SAP, uniform stays pure white. As simple as that. He says, I go to dealership, I get to know how much process compliance by looking at the uniform. Right? I think Sato-san, Maruti, when he would go to the dealership opening, he would straight go to the washroom of the showroom. By the washroom, he would get to know the SOP compliance, the culture, the DP's involvement. So here we are sitting, not to talk any bookish stuff. We are here to share our best practices, how we can make that particular unit, that bay, that workshop, profitable and productive. Because at the end of the day, as Garima had mentioned in the panel 1, that service operations are like the backbone of the dealership OEM operations. So we can begin with Dimple. So Dimple, you are heading service and parts of Tata Motors PV, and it's a very important position. You're heading in India, overseas. So what have been your learnings? The year is about to end, just a few more days to go. What have been your new learnings for workshop, productivity, and profitability?
Okay, thank you, Anuj. And first of all, you know, it's difficult to match up to the legacy of my predecessors. It's not been easy. Multiple benchmarks have been set. And many of my colleagues, because having worked in 7 different OEMs before reaching here, but I think when I joined in, it was like peak of COVID. So you couldn't even talk about productivity or profitability or stuff like that. So I think it was in June 2020, a virtual joining. We were still grappling with how to open up workshops, right, at that point of time. But I think in the last since we opened up for 3 years now, there's been a lot of work on bringing up the productivity and enhancement of the workshops also. There have been multiple tools used even during when the COVID went out. And there were stutters and ups, and we started again, it went back, again started again, went back. I think there were intermittent on and off work also during that time. So there have been multiple facets of the work as we've grown. If you see, it's been a different story. In the 7 OEMs I've worked, it was kind of not a staggering approach of the way we've grown in the workshop. It was always a step-by-step thing which went up with the number of sales and the retained vehicles. But I think there was a hell of a task here. Like we knew we were growing, and it was a fast-paced growth which I've seen almost like double the speed of Hyundai when I was there. So we needed to be well prepared in the next 3 years till now and the next 3 years also. Your meaning of productivity or profitability will only come when you're prepared to handle that karpa which is increasing like at a lightning speed.
This
So-
is the question which a lot of people ask me to ask you, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just said it yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The car park at TML has increased at lightning speed.
Yeah.
So what have been the repercussions at your service stations? How have you managed that?
So the first and foremost thing, like, grappling with that kind of a growth, you need to be prepared up ahead of time. It's like, I can't think right now where I am. I have to think where I'll be and how I'll be ahead of the curve. So for that, you need to be productive. You need to first have that facility, right? So in Tata, what we did is we prepared a plan of 3 years, which is midterm, and a 5 year, which I have been knowing from my Korean, Japanese, and Chinese days also. So we were well prepared. Right now, I'm happy to announce also that we are almost like 1,000 bays ahead of what we need. Okay, still some problems we solved in the couple of bigger cities. But it was a daunting task, and we actually went at a fast pace. We added about 100 workshops net in the first year, first fiscal. Second year, we added 150. Until now, we are going at a pace which is like not far away to reach 1,000 plus, which is the third biggest OEM right now. And the other thing which we did is the recruitment of people, because people are required. Even if the infra is there, everything is there, right? You need tools and means to actually make sure the productivity is enhanced, right? So just like a general thing which happens everywhere, you have speedo bays, we've increased those. We've even gone to the tier 2 and 3 towns where we opened up workshops. We have 2 tech bays, 3 tech bays. There are multiple things which we have done. But this also needs to be resourced at the most challenging part of it, right? The way our production was increasing in the supplies, similarly, you need to also ramp up your SPD to make sure that the FR remains, first fill rate remains at about 93 to 96%. So we were grappling with that also, but I think all the stories said it's way past behind us. We are right now, have grown from a level of 570 workshops in just a span of just over 3 years to about 940 now.
So Dimple, one question, see, of course you want your network's profitability and, productivity to be at the highest level. Yeah. And of course, when you have the dealer principle, whether one dealership, workshop or a group, they would of course want also the same thing. So it's a common vision, it's a common goal. But many a times because of different working practices or different little culture in your own network also, the levels of productivity and profitability are different. Yeah. So if a dealer principal comes to you and says, hey, I'm making good money, but I think I can make more. Yeah. Or you tell the dealer principal, hey, your productivity is X, I think you can be at Y. So what are those 3 or 4 things that you ask them to do?
Yeah, so it's largely been on a couple of pronged efforts which we've done. Right now we are in a stage that we need to do service marketing, because actually the pace at which we are growing, and the dealers who are really like on the neck of, let's say, a 3.5 or 4 productivity, we've given them a chance to expand as a first right of refusal. We've not gone with authorized service centers as of now. And we've cleansed the system a lot. Secondly, the right set of manpower required to improve that productivity with trained, certified, and a level 3 technician also. We've done a lot of work on that. So we reset the certification from a 5-year validated to 2 as I joined. And then now we actually fell down in certification almost to a level of the people who are at well level of trained thing, just to about 40%. But we've got it back to about 85 or 90 now. And I think the right set of actions which we took is to go to the tier 2 and tier 3. We've also added the mobile service vans. We've added the S, which is a bike. We've added speedo bays. We've added more number of people who can actually cater to the rising load. So that's what we've done till now.
So this mobile service van possibly is a concept as old as probably that van itself. What new can be done in this mobile service van, if I can ask?
So I think the previous thing which we used to do was only like it's going to be used as a service van, right? So, but it's a 2-pronged effort now. It's not only after sales, it's also like canvassing and also promoting your product.
For sales, huh?
Yeah. So, having been on the helm of different functions across my career, not only after sales, except product planning. So, I always look at when we do something in after sales, the most important aspect is how I'm going to help the TMA, how I'm going to help the assured, how I'm going to help.
So 3S for the service van as well, huh? Yeah, there also you have a 3S.
So we do a lot of things based on that. We collaborate together with all the functions, and every aspect of after sales which we are handling right now, I have it at a look with my team. How is it going to impact the accessories? How is it going to impact the resale, repurchase? So I think those kind of things, so the topic has diverted to a different.
So we have an MD in making now because thinking over the other aspects also, the sales, the accessories, the BD, the corporate, and the after sales. So 360-degree profile enrichment. Huh?
I'm happy being after sales. Yeah.
Okay, so I think two key takeaways from Dimple. One is network expansion because of the sudden surge in the vehicle sales, and of course, credit to Tata Motors, salespeople, the designers, the product planning people. They're making fantastic products which the customers are accepting. And second point that he mentioned, training. You know, no matter how much we talk about training, at the end of the day, rubber meets the road and how much you are delivering. You know, if the top guy in an organization, whatever he or she is asking questions on, that gets done. So if the top guy, he or she is asking, okay, what is the training score? What is the training percentage coverage? What has been the entry score, exit score? If you get deep into it, what are your recruitment standards? Do you have an HR person or a dedicated person for the workforce improvement? It gets things done. So switching gears from OEM to aftermarket. So of course, Vikrantt doesn't need an introduction. He's the national president of IVASS, All India Automotive Workshops Association, 300 plus workshops, in their association. So Vikrantt, when it comes to these important things like training, like SOP, like skill development, you don't have any OEM support per se, but these are important things which can't be left to the technician, mechanic or service advisor. How do you manage these important things at your workshop, and what are your sutras for productivity and profitability?
Thank you. Okay, you agree or you say that we don't have any SOPs or support, but we have.
No, not from OEMs, but you have.
OEMs.
You really have
Exactly.
to be Atmanirbhar that way.
Exactly. We don't have support from OEMs, but definitely we have supports from our own community, and that is where we are born, because to any workshop that is there aftermarket, support have started coming in terms of spare parts, in some technology, vagara. But yes, they have not opened up yet. But our community by itself is not that weak. We have people with super experience. They are gifted with super kind of sensing the issues, and we get really a matter solved. Perhaps I would say that we solve a matter more quickly than the vehicle goes to the workshop. Simple because they have certain levels of working, right? They have to go through certain, I don't say bureaucracy, but certain officers, and they have to climb over that. But here it's just because it's a owner-owned workshops, and the issue comes directly on the table of the owner. We have our own link, so we know who's expert where. We call him up, and there has been cases that we have airlifted the mechanic from one location to another location, and we have solved the issues. So workshop, either it is OEM workshop or aftermarket workshop, challenges are absolutely there, and we have to live with it. So that's it.
So, did you just observe that because they don't have, as Vikrantt himself mentioned, that they don't have much support of many OEMs right now, so they have to stick it out on their own. But what they are actually harnessing and leveraging is their own network. So a kind of a buddy network. So those 350 workshops, those 350 owners and their families and their directors, they all come together to solve problems. So how many WhatsApp groups do you have, sir, by the way, on this?
We have groups after groups. But let me add a thing that, 57% of the vehicles on the Indian roads are attended, repaired by the aftermarket workshops.
57%?
57%. So you can just amount the workshop that we are here, and since we have a lot of OEMs here, I think it is high time that you start supporting the independent garage, because I'm quite sure, even you must be knowing about it, that no matter how many workshops OEM has, they will not be able to attend the vehicles complaint by themselves at all. They need to have the support of the aftermarket, and we are here to have a collaboration with you.
So one thing as a neutral person, what I can, observe and say is that, at the end of the day, भाई गाड़ी तो आप ही की है, बच्चा तो आप ही का है. अब वो वारंटी के बाहर चला गया बच्चा, तो वो आफ्टर मार्केट में आ रहा है बिकॉज द कस्टमर प्रॉब्ली वांट्स और इधर इट पिंचेस द पॉकेट और देयर इज द माइंडसेट दैट इट माइट पिंच द पॉकेट. इट कुड बी एनी वन ऑफ द रीजंस. बट गाड़ी तो आप ही की है, तो सर्टन बेसिक सपोर्ट इन से स्पेयर पार्ट्स और प्रोडक्टिविटी और प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी actually will not do that much harm to your own existing network. Point number 2, what I feel is a low hanging fruit. भाई हमारे यहाँ RSA partners बहुत हैं इस बार. तो I think using harnessing aftermarket as a RSA partner so that the time to the customer who is in trouble is minimized. I think that can be really leveraged as a starting point. That's a low hanging fruit. So what do you have to say about that, Vikrantt ji?
As long as the vehicle is under warranty, it doesn't have any major issues. True. The major issue starts after it comes out of the warranty. And at most of the cases, the vehicle leaves the dealer's OEM and it comes to us. So it is we who have to handle your vehicle, the vehicle you have sold. And if we get the support of the spare parts, the technology and all that stuff, I think we are going to be the best ambassadors of your vehicle.
And I think I would like to just add to that, what I just mentioned as a buddy network, a mentor network. It could be that a very skilled technician could be in the aftermarket. क्योंकि सारे टेढ़े काम तो उनके पास ही पहुंचते हैं. So many a times if the local OEM workshop is kind of struggling with that teda case, that something which is little, फंसा हुआ, you can take their help. And they can take your help in some basic spare parts. So a win-win can be worked out because at the end of the day, बच्चा तो आपका ही है, गाड़ी तो आपकी है, customer तो आपका ही है. And when that car is getting old, that is the time when that customer, he or she is thinking of the next car buying decision, So that's also when you can actually catch that customer and get him or her back. So switching gears and coming to Harsh Bhai now, who is the dealer principal. He has dealerships of Tata Motors and Kia. And Harsh Bhai has been coming to IVASS, I think, almost every edition. And he's been sharing his valuable gyan with us. So Harsh Bhai, what are your sutras for your workshop, productivity and profitability? And some new things that you learned this year?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. So last year, I was on the same panel and I highlighted that the coming time means year 2024, 23, 24, 25 belongs to service aftermarket. Because what trend we have seen last 4 years, especially during COVID, there were very high car number, new car sales. So ultimately now the responsibility is coming on the shoulder of after sales market. And if we see all workshop across India is totally flooded. And Dimple sir, he rightly said that, we are looking for expansion. And every workshop is flooded. We belongs to Delhi, so I can talk more about Delhi market. So customer satisfaction is very, very important, and especially market like metros, they are the trendsetters. What we have done in 2023 to increase our productivity and ultimately the profitability. So we have taken few steps, and there are a lot of challenges. Still we are struggling, especially this year because of manpower attrition and a lot of other factors. A lot of new brands are coming, OEs are expanding. So there is a scarcity of good manpower which is very evident across all OEs. People are poaching and it's very tough. So even the last conference of ASDC, I again requested Mr. Arindam, he is also sitting here. So we have to put more focus on skilling. And every car company, fortunately, they are very aggressive and they are very supportive. They are giving very good directions to dealers, workshop team for giving them good trainings on daily basis. And there are a lot of challenges, like a lot of sessions happen today related to AI and a lot of other stuff. But we have to understand how many people, how many young generation, they want to become a technician. People wants to drive car, but nobody wants to become a technician. We understand what is the mindset of our current, youth. They are willing to sit idle at home but they want white collar job, which is not possible to offer. So my request to different institution, WAF, ASDC, and all seniors, we have to encourage skilling. So what initiative we have taken is we have started one LEP program because we also run a ASDC center by the name of Scope, which we are doing almost now 7-8 years, and we are getting very good response. Not in terms of monetary, that vertical is into minus, but yes, it is complement to our workshops, our market image, and a lot of other boosters. It gives a very good feel, especially to me. Like presently also like 30-40 guys, they are with us under LEP program. LEP stands for Learn, Earn and Pay. Because when we go to various job fairs and we educate, counsel the youth, कि after doing BTech or diploma, you become technician or maybe a sales consultant or service advisor, but they are not market ready. We all understand there is a huge requirement, which one side there is an industry, other side there is a youth. So industry, there is a hue and cry, they need manpower, good manpower who are market ready, but other side people are not market ready, so they are rejected. And we understand the kind of colleges we have on the highways, engineering colleges, medical colleges.
College on the highways, I like that term.
Yeah, right, colleges
on the
highways. And people don't know, even a BTech, he don't know who is Newton, what is E equals to MC square. So these are the challenges. Why would a dealership or a industry hire them? Because they are not market ready. So important is we should, shake hand with government and a lot of other things, which is really needed. मुझे जो लगता है हमारा यूथ बाउंसर बनने को तो तैयार है, प्रोटीन एक्स खा खा के एक कैफ़े के बाहर बड़ा सा, बट वो टेक्नीशियन बनने को तैयार नहीं है. सो इम्पॉर्टेंट इज जो भी अपनी कैपेसिटी में हु
नाइट क्लब के साथ वर्कशॉप खोलो ना फिर.
सो या देखते हैं वो भी, बट अगेन द प्रॉब्लम इज लाइक you need a CTO, which is, consent to operate for DPCC, and which is closed in Delhi. So there are a lot of challenges. So what I mean to say is we have to charge youth, because our sector is contributing almost 17-18% in the economy directly. And if we add, roadside garages and unorganized sector, we can imagine what kind of wonders this auto sector is doing for the country. One. So skilling is very important.
Skilling is very important, as you mentioned, and you mentioned that the youth doesn't want to get to be a technician. They are happy sitting idle at home. So one is getting the people. The other thing which I feel, Arindam ji is sitting here, he and his team always keep saying skilling, but they always have a constant challenge. Please, agree with me or disagree with me, Arindam ji, that, people talk a lot about skilling, especially in conferences like this. But the moment they exit the door, then it's like they don't reply to the WhatsApp, they don't respond to the email, they say, yeah, we'll get back. Then they meet in the next conference, they'll say, yeah, we'll do it. Then again, it's gone. So how do you get people to skill? You have to take out time. As even Dimple mentioned, you need more manpower, But manpower needs to be relevantly skilled. How do you convince the industry stakeholders to ensure that the team's time, place are available for skilling? How do you do that? And anybody can answer this question if you have some innovative solution. Because that's a constant challenge of skilling bodies.
एक मिनट सर, बिल्कुल सिंपल है. The issue is when the boy goes for the training, skilling, the environment is different. When he's asked to go on the floor, the environment is totally different. तो यहाँ पे गड़बड़ हो जाती है. So why can't we have skilling at the ground level, where there is no floor, no room, no पखा, no AC, no ventilator? अगर स्किलिंग करना है बच्चे को, बिकॉज क्या होता है बच्चे के दिमाग में ये होता है कि मेरे को यहाँ पे ऐसी जगह में पढ़ाया जा रहा है और मेरे को यहाँ से नेक्स्ट लेवल ऊपर का ही होगा, नीचे का तो नहीं होगा. सेम थिंग हैपनिंग विद ऑल द इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस एवरीवेयर. आई हैव बीन गोइंग एंड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इट. द स्किलिंग वे दे आर डूइंग इज रॉन्ग. जो पढ़ाया जाता है वो हकीकत में नहीं है, और जो हकीकत में है वो बिल्कुल पढ़ाया नहीं जाता.
So this reminds me, Arindam ji, of this NAP program which the government of India had come out with, National Apprenticeship Program. Probably you can cover that in your session too. So Harshbhai, we'll just come back to you. So switching gears, coming to you, Vitaly. So I wonder how much you could understand because we've been talking in mixed language. So Henkel, everybody, there is no person in this hall or outside in the industry who doesn't know Henkel. That's for sure. We know you are the world leader in adhesives. But what we would like to know from you is how a company like Henkel is adding value to productivity and profitability at the workshop level, at the dealership workshop.
Okay, thank you. So I'm in India for 1 year already, and understanding Hindi is quite okay for me. I can read the emotions already. I can read the smiles, or I can read some angry faces. And like after 3 or 4 months of being in India, I started to bargain with the taxi drivers, and but in Hindi. So and they could understand that I'm not anymore a foreign person, and the prices just dramatically went down for me. Speaking about Henkel, speaking about adhesives, there were a lot of discussions here and a lot of very interesting notices from different members who were speaking about the fact that technologies are increasing, actually improving. They're becoming, products are becoming more technology driven, and we are looking for more productivity. At the same time, we want to be price efficient. We want to clearly explain the value to our customers, and everything should be at once. And someone says that we need to stick to the basics. Someone says we need to be innovative. And I think that the truth is somewhere in between, and we need to be both. We need to stick to basics, and also we need to be innovative. And definitely, for the moment, there is no single car that is made without any adhesive. And the adhesive is not the main part probably of the car in terms of value, but you cannot build a car without an adhesive, right? And adhesive is not a spare part. You need to be a chemist in order to understand more about the adhesives, and that's not so easy for mechanics to be proficient in using adhesives. At the same time, it brings a lot of value. So being a global company and operating for so many years in the world, we can see how every country is growing in terms of technology, in terms of repair culture and maintenance. And definitely we want to leverage the best practices to India, and this is something that we're doing right now. We're not only supplying products, but we are also teaching how to apply them and how to properly apply them, and that actually leads to improving the productivity. Because a lot of questions from the mechanics, they just disappear after the training that we can provide. So speaking about what we have done in this year differently and innovatively, we have opened our tech center where everyone can take the training. It can be done physically, but also we are in the process to implement virtual training as well. So that can help all your mechanics to understand more about adhesives, and not only mechanics, but also maybe purchasers. And also probably the most important part of this is that your marketing people can also understand what can adhesive bring to your to you as a company and to your customers. Because adhesive is not just something which is a must to be used, but it's also an opportunity to increase the business for your workshops. So this is something that we're offering to you. We're offering close cooperation. Let's be open to each other. We are open to share the best practices from across the world, from different countries, from different customers. And what we want is a bit of time and a bit of attention.
In fact, this kind of gets us to two questions, Vitaly. So first of all, one very good carrot for all of you, that through Vitaly, through Henkel, you can get access to the global best practices in your industry. If you and your team are figuring out what are the best practices, how to enhance productivity, profitability, hey, why just take examples from India, take examples from outside too. And yeah, don't make a BRT out of it. You can always apply your mind and customize it and not copy it blindly. But there are always ways to and things to apply. Now, the other thing, Vitaly, what you just said, about educating people and using it as a sales point. Like, Volkswagen, people at Volkswagen, the showroom people who are highly trained or better skilled, they use the point that Volkswagen cars have galvanized body. That zinc coating is there, which gives that additional coating and very nice luster finish. It looks young, stays young, no corrosion. So they use it as a selling point. And the Hindustan Zinc guys tell me that they even at times use the Hindustan Zinc name, that this coating is by this company or that company, as a plus point. So this can be done if, I think, we work closely with companies like which are present here. Because many a times, just the way technology, there is not much differentiation. Even in the sales pitch, you need that additional, extra differentiation. How is my vehicle better? So you can use these points. That's very important, I feel. Second, Vitaly, I feel that whether it's aftermarket or OEM, if you can guide them on how to minimize wastage at the workshop, because these are expensive adhesives, whichever company. So if we can control wastage, I think money saved is money earned. Something on that?
Well, first of all, I cannot say that adhesives are expensive. I don't know why you say like that, because actually the consumption of adhesives is not that much per car. So definitely it should be, our target is to be cost efficient. And if you link only to price, this is also something that I've learned in India, that everyone is looking for the price. And that's why it's not so easy always to convince the customers that, hey, yes, the price for the bottle, it can be expensive, can be high, but the efficiency can be even higher. So for us, we are the fans to supply cost-efficient and high quality products versus to be very cheap and maybe compromise the quality.
I'm very happy that you have busted that myth, especially in things like body repair, as I can read from Henkel's booth, body repair, or things like windscreen adhesive. You, of course, cannot compromise on quality. It's all to do with safety, structural integrity. So as the Hindi, I'm sure you understand Hindi, so as they say,
yes, I do.
Sasta roe bar bar, mehenga roe ek bar. And something what even those Duracell advertises, that, okay, we might be more expensive if you buy the battery, but it will outlast 3 or 4 such batteries. So eventually you are saving money and you're getting reliability and you're getting efficiency and longer life. So at the end of the day, it's all about value selling. And it's not about value selling, it's about value understanding also. Because many times, we feel that this guy is pitching to us. This guy is doing a pitch to us. Somewhere we also have to look whether it makes sense for me and my company too. In that pitch, we have to see what is the benefit for my company, my workshop, my customer. Instead of just saying, hey, this guy just might be pitching, he might be just saying for the heck of it. But what is the real value? That's very important. So switching gears, so Naveen, you have been listening patiently to us and you already had a keynote. So, okay, by the way, before we've already heard a lot of things that Naveen had to say, a quick show of hands, or you can even take the mic and share. Do you have problems in your spare parts cataloging? Do you face any problems at your OEM or at your workshop or aftermarket? Or what are the issues you face in the warranty process? How can tech answer these questions? What are the top challenges you face in warranty or spare parts or DMS or your manuals through which those thousands and thousands of pages through which you have to scrape and find the right answer? Any challenges you want to share? Spare parts, warranty? Yeah, yes. Can we have a mic there, please? To Santosh.
Yeah, Anuj. So we work closely with all OEMs in India, particularly for aftermarket, and we try to create when they create some manuals for aftermarket reference. So we are approaching them to mention the right product in that catalog. I'm coming from adhesive perspective. That's where we found a lot of awareness, or we need to adopt the right product mentioned in the with the catalog itself. So we found that consumables is been largely, I will say not neglected, but it's not incorporated rightly. And that's one area wherein we work closely with OEMs. We highlight this. Some of the OEMs have really taken some measures, like Mahindra. We are working closely, and they have changed. They have incorporated consumables along with the e-catalogs or physical catalogs. So I would like to share this. OEMs have to focus the largely consumables which are important part of the process, and it should reflect in the
in the catalog, you mean? Okay,
Yes.
so Naveen, that can be a starting point of your discussion. So, how can you ensure that the spare parts catalog is more exhaustive and inclusive, and the spare parts guy, I would not say waste, but invests minimum time in serving the service advisors or the technician, because the spare parts guy's customer would be the technician, right? To whom they are serving at the bay. So you can begin answering that, and also your discussion henceforth.
When we talk about catalog, I feel it's like garbage in and garbage out. I think that's because the data, like if you really take time to put in, because there's a lot of data that really require at the receiving end for the dealers to search and identify and part. As most of the OEMs in the industry, they have these exploded views. So a lot of these OEMs, like you mentioned, Mahindra and all such big OEMs, they even take that effort of putting an actual picture of an part there. So right from the exploded views also, the technician can identify, and not only that, they even use that to train the new people who are joining the dealership. And apart from the spares, the kind of solutions which are available today, or even what we provide, even accessories or consumables, what we called it, your lubes and oil. So that also is included in the system. And even you can filter down-wise, model-wise, the applicability of that can also be identified. So, and then finally making it to the win-based. So I think that is where the crux lies. So, from OEMs to take that complexity away from the technician, they need to see that it has to be easy. So, as a technician, moment I enter a VIN number, rather than me applying in brain, system should identify that what is the right part. And if they're given that right data to the system, the bomb-based drill down, the applicability, so that is very much possible in technology, and we are doing that for almost all the leading OEMs in India across.
Okay, so VIN number based spare parts lookup is what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
So Dimple, something on that, and also your key takeaway, a minute or so, as a key takeaway for what we have discussed till now, and also what are the innovations that you are doing for warranty and spare parts cataloging?
Okay, just to add, I think our topic was talking on productivity, and also we missed to discuss anything on the profitability aspects, right?
Profitability. So paisa.
So most of us are here. It's also important that you don't only drive productivity, but the end goal is also to make some margins and profit to run the business further together and expand and do those things.
So you mean that Harshbhai mentioned that all the workshops are flooded?
Yeah.
So that is not equal to profitability? So are they losing money when the workshops are flooded?
So I think it's a difference between what potential you can cater to and what you're actually catering to, okay? Just to use an example, like when we started here, it was more so to also bring back the older customers. So for us also in Tata, it was more important that you need to have facilities for catering to it. You need to drive traffic also, right? So the multiple levers have been used to improve that also across the places I worked, and this place also. So it has to come all in tandem. For example, providing the facility. Second is technical knowledge. And the third part is spare parts availability. And then you talk about improvement in the retention measures. How do you improve it, right? So all those things clubbed together is when you have multiple facets of a customer journey, when you need to touch point every point, and you can actually not say selling, it's like kind of upselling and making me aware of what can be done at what point of time, right?
So Dimple, do dealer principals come to you and do they ask for your counseling that hum itna paisa nahi bana rahe, we're not making enough money? Do they come to you?
So I'm
this
in
query?
Yeah, I'm in a place where 99.8% dealers are profitable. Okay.
Wow.
So
And what about that 0.08?
0.08 is where we have some flaws. We've been working with them to bring it up to that level, right? So we will continue that because it's a different phase for us. So we are lucky, or we are doing all the levers possible to support our workshops and dealers. And I think we are on a very different platform. So previously we were struggling to drive traffic, right? Now we are struggling to handle that traffic.
Traffic.
Right? So
Well said, well said. In fact, whenever I meet, my dealer friends, especially the OEM dealer friends, I always tell them that, you should actually be so lucky and blessed if you are working with an OEM. Of course, aftermarket has its own blessings. I'll come to that too. Don't worry. Don't get angry with me, sir. So, that the top think tank of these OEMs are working 24/7 just to make you rich, man. What else do you need in life? Somebody is from Harvard, somebody from IIT, somebody from IIM. That big think tank is all the time working to ensure you are profitable, you are expanding, you are, your children are going to Harvard and Stanford. You can't be more thankful. As simple as that. As simple as that. So profitability, productivity, they're all interrelated. As it was said that the workshops are flooded, but many a times when we get stuck in that rut of operations, we at times don't focus that much on profitability because we are focused so much on ops. So 1 second, I'll just take Harsh Bhai and then I'll get you Vikrantt. So Harsh Bhai, in this whirlwind of too much of cars coming and too much of UIOs coming, how do you manage productivity and profitability at the workshop?
So what we have done, recently after seeing the load, which is increasing day by day, both in our brands, Tata Motors and Kia, where we are operating, the regular meetings with your HODs, the regular meetings with your department heads. So there are various areas which is neglected. Like if you talk about warranty at dealer level, there are certain percentage of warranties which was not approved by the OEs. Not that time, but maybe after 1 quarter or 2 quarters down the line, whatever is their period. So that is directly lost to the dealership, which nobody accounted. Because manager is saying it is coming, account is saying, okay, there are certain approvals which need to take from the warranty manager through the OE TSM. But ultimately, those were the rejected warranties which dealership principals comes to know later on. So this is one area where you need regular deep drive. Like what we have done at our dealership, we have put up, my younger brother, who is the CEO of the company, just to handle those claims. One is warranty area. Second is your body shop payments, which is again very big area of concern. I guarantee, like a lot of dealerships, they almost, if they work 12 months in a year, right, they lose 1 month labor because of the putting wrong claims by their teams at the end of the year when they reco with the insurance company. And we understand there are a lot of challenges which our principal companies they are addressing with the public sector insurance company, United, New India, which are on their panels, but we are not getting claims on time. And we understand how tough this insurance market is. So one area is the BP payments, which we need to track on regular basis. One area is your warranty. Third area is the spare part. Dealership should not accumulate slow moving or the dead items in their stock because it is reflecting in their P&L that so much of stock is there. But ultimately, I know being a Chevy dealer and the Nissan dealer in past, the crore of rupees spares parts goes with a weight of 40 rupees per kg we sold. Ultimately, those were the dead items or maybe the slow moving items. Right, which is a direct dent to the dealership.
Harsh Bhai, something on the slow moving parts. I just, I'm just curious to understand why are any OEMs or aftermarket people doing this, that if you can have a central repository of, the slow moving parts. There is a transmission of a car, which is, or a truck or any vehicle stuck at a dealership. It's a slow moving part or almost like a dead part. And some other dealership, it's a back order. So why can't we have sharing of information? Why is it that Harsh Bhai is sitting with some slow moving stock? You want to add something on that, Dimple?
yeah.
Stock sharing for
So
making slow moving, fast moving, in short.
there are 2 or 3 things which we've done in the recent 3 years. One is the scheme wherein we buy back the old parts, right? And secondly, we know what is the trend of the older models as of now. We get orders, we know we are unable to supply. So the second step we've taken is we bought back all the parts on a certain price from dealers, not going as a...
How does that help you? How does that help
It
you?
helps us because someone else might need that part. So we stock it, take it back and stock it. The other thing which we had done is that...
Why can't it be just rerouted directly?
That's the third aspect. Each one of the dealers can see what is the stock. If I need a part, I punch it. They're able to see where it is available. They'll be able to watch it and see from the central software which all locations have that part. And they can actually order and it will come back to them. They can purchase it out through. So there's a cross-linkage of understanding which stock lies in which warehouse. There's a cross-linkage on which dealer has that part. And they can actually do that transaction.
So something like fulfilled by Amazon.
Yeah.
Now, like an FBA.
Anuj, I'd like to add to it. So what I think you just mentioned, we have concepts like inventory pooling. But
Inventory pool, yeah.
Right. So in our systems, even we have, that as of now, that works for one given OEM at any point. I mean, I feel though even that can be extended beyond an OEM to be even available in aftermarket, because ideally, finally it is a lost opportunity if you're...
So Vikrantt is sitting right here. He represents 300 workshops from aftermarket. Please, you can point all your parts here. Vikrantt ji, something on profitability. अगर मैं आपको बोलूँ, मैं आपसे दरख्वास्त करूँ, your 300 plus workshops, you do so much of knowledge gathering, knowledge sharing. What is the crux of workshop profitability, especially aftermarket? क्या होगा वो? Crux, really crux.
Most of our staff are multi-skill staff. So it's not that कि अगर हमारे पास AC technician है, then we need to have electrician different. So mix है जो भी है, हम अपना गुजारा बड़ी अच्छी तरह से कर लेते हैं. हाँ, अच्छी तरह से कर लेते हैं. There was a time, when there's a popular word called customer is the king. But I say today, customer was a king, now a killer. Because of all the platforms in social media that we have, it's not that easy to take customer for granted. And especially when it comes to the aftermarket, he thinks that in aftermarket he can get the things done much quicker than at the dealer's workshop. So customer has a different views about the dealer workshop, the aftermarket workshop and things like that. But coming to profitability, yes. Like you have all been discussing about the availability and about the parts, the requirement of the parts. Like we have all the WhatsApp groups, so whenever there's a particular part is required or a source is required, so we get reached much faster than any other way. So that is how our profitability, our way of working, communicating within our members is done at a very faster speed.
Something more on profitability, sir. Something more. दिल मांगे more on profitability.
वो दिल मांगे मोर का तो कभी हिसाब खत्म होगा नहीं, चलते रहता है.
I can see times up, but still, दिल मांगे more.
Simple thing is, sir. Jesse, we started our topic today, spare parts, the technology. You all know, automobile manufacturers, that the vehicles that you sell, we have sold, we are taking care of them at the last stage. Right? Now, if you want a particular company's vehicle to run, then you have to come and reach out with all your spare parts to us, and we can definitely take care of it. So that would be a good thing for you and win-win situation for us. That will add to our extra profitability. Otherwise, there are vendors who are making it and supplying to us, and we are very happy with them. But please come out, and that's my only appeal.
गाड़ी के बुढ़ापे का सहारा आप ही हो.
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल हम ही हैं, और हम ये चाहते हैं कि वो सहारा कभी खत्म ना हो, चलता रहे.
Okay. So Vitaly, your closing remarks, key takeaway.
My key takeaway will be that everyone is seeking for profitability, everyone is seeking for innovation, and definitely everyone should be skilled enough in order to reach to some certain point. So my key request to everyone will be, please be more open. Please take time to upskill your employees, your mechanics, everyone. This is the trend that is there in other parts of the world, and definitely India should follow that. This is my personal understanding and my personal takeaway. A lot of thoughts about how to upskill mechanics, and that definitely will lead to higher profitability.
Wow, I think it was a fantastic panel. You know, I'm so surprised, and actually I'm not surprised. The title, the theme of the panel was productivity and profitability, which everybody wants, needs, aspires, desires. But majority of the speakers, when they were sharing their thoughts on profitability and productivity, they were talking about training and skilling. Just imagine. You know, at the end of the day, that's where the buck stops. But the sad part is, it stops only in the conference. The moment we exit this door, it's business as usual. So if we keep doing the same thing, we keep getting the same results. So let's be a bit different. If, I would not say manpower, I would say workforce. I would say the internal customer. If internal customer development, training, grooming is equal to money, then let's actually walk the talk. Let's actually walk the talk and make it happen. And nothing can be better than walking the talk. Okay, so that's it. Time's up. So, Chikara saab ko mic dijiye, please. We'll take just one or two questions because time's up. Yeah, Chikara saab ko mic dein, and one to Guru.
Anuj, you have been talking about PESA, profitability, innovations. I will tell you the fact. You had been talking that OEM is worried about the profitability of the dealers. I tell you the story that in around 2000 or 2004-5, Sam has been to the government that please introduce INC program. INC means Inspection and Certification Program, so that government should call the vehicles and do the periodic checks and issue the fitness of roadworthiness through the automated testing regime. And they also assured that if government make it a legislation, so we will make I&M program so that the same kind of equipment will be installed in the workshop, and periodically there would be a high footfall. Let us, the vehicle may come for at every 3 months for adjustment of brakes, heads, NVH, suspension. Now it's OBD also.
Very good point. Very good point.
And I have doubt that OEM is worried about the business of dealers. And it was Pankaj Narula sir, his Sumoto initiatives through MSM, he has installed some equipments for brake testing, steering test, system in MSM. But this fraternity of your OEMs, they did not encourage that system.
So that's so first of all, it's a very strong statement. And yes, it's a very important imperative because it relates to safety. Sadly, we are the road accident death capital of the world. Sadly, we are number one, sadly. 400 souls every day don't get back home. They succumb to a road accident. That's the reality. It's like a one jumbo jet crashing every day silently. And the figures of disabilities, we don't even know. Permanent disability. So that's a very important point. We're talking here about profitability of workshops and dealerships. What stops us from having these testing centers, fitness testing centers for safety, reliability and profitability? Also have the scrapping units, no?
Yes.
Have scrapping units also.
अच्छा सर, मैं उसमें और बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि ये वाला जो legislation था, it has been there in Motor Vehicle Act in 2019. And prior to it, there were some states who have initiated it, like in Delhi. So, but Siam or no OEM workshop has been equipped with these equipments so far. And they had been promising that it's a world over practice. And innovation की हम बात करते हैं और best practice की बात करते हैं. तो मुझे मतलब इस फोरम में ऑल द
ये काम आपका सिर्फ एक ही सज्जन करा सकते हैं, वो है नितिन गडकरी जी. और कोई नहीं करा सकता. As simple as that.
तो इंडस्ट्री ने का कोई मतलब इंडस्ट्री शुड हैव देयर प्रोएक्टिव रोल्स.
Just make a submission to him. बहुत practical बात कर रहा हूँ मैं.
जी.
I'm talking very practical.
मैं कुछ add
Important
कर-
है, करवा दो.
Anuj, I want to add something here. Mr. Shikara, already workshops have those facilities. Our principals, like whosoever OE, they have put up the guidelines, how you have to repair first service car, second service car, third service, paid service up to what kilometer, what you have to check. So already guidelines has been laid. Like we do in our workshops, like brake pads, caliper pins, everything we do deeply. Otherwise, you won't imagine how they are clocking numbers, why they are winning trust of the customers. See the numbers, market, automotive.
Fair point. So why can't our aftermarket brothers and sisters
See, I tell you one
take the
example.
opportunity?
Yeah.
क्या आपके पास डैम्पिंग इन परसेंटेज डिजिटल फॉर्म में आया है सस्पेंशन का?
बिल्कुल आया. Like we have our tech meters which we put in the car and it will tell you where is the gap in the car mostly. Second, I'll give you a very small example. I'm not quoting it because I am a Tata Motor dealer, but I tell you Tata Motors national figures in December 2019 before COVID, they were selling only 9,000 cars. Now they are touching 50,000 cars. It is just because, and one more thing, they were more into taxi segment. Now 99.9% customers are the private passenger PV, which is a big win, and everything is laid. That is why we are winning customer confidence.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
सर अब मैं आपको बता एक मिनट
हाँ sure sir sure.
कि अगर हम मतलब जो डीलर्स हैं या इंडस्ट्री है वो अगर बताने लगे कि आपका ब्रेकिंग परसेंटेज ये होना चाहिए, आपका सस्पेंशन परसेंटेज ये होना चाहिए, आपका हेडलैम्प
सर वो भी प्रिंट निकल कर आता है ऑलरेडी.
हाँ, निकल तो सर पब्लिसिटी में तो नहीं आया ना.
सर सबको दे दो ना अपॉर्चुनिटी. OEMs को भी दो, आफ्टर मार्केट को भी दो ना. जो आपको सपोर्ट करे उनको दो अपॉर्चुनिटी. Let it be the fastest finger first, buzzer round. It's as simple as that. Because it is in the interest of safety. हम WAF में हमेशा बीच की बात करेंगे. आपने बोला है सेफ्टी के लिए है. We are all ears to it. It's a very important point. And Chikara ji to वैसे ही he is one of the leading luminaries of the country for road traffic safety and driver training. So many government leaders, so many politicians, ministers इनके पास आते हैं एडवाइस लेने. तो अगर वो ये बात कह रहे हैं इसमें वजन है, so it should be an opportunity to be grabbed, whether OEM or aftermarket. इसमें we should not differentiate because it's a matter of safety. हाँ जी गुरु.
Hey, hi. Thank you, panel, for the valuable discussion. My question to the panel is how you foresee the challenges as well as the opportunities with the right to repair law coming into action, even from an OEM point of view or an aftermarket point of view. Challenges as well as opportunities.
Very good question, Guru. Full marks. So I think we can have Dimple and Vikrantt ji answer it. Should I toss the coin? Who goes first?
So I think that's a pretty challenging thing which is going to come up because it's not easy. Like it's pretty prevalent outside, but it's not so prevalent here right now. But as it is coming as a consumer right in the coming times, there'll be ways and means you'll have to develop. We are already into discussions for a long time, for the last about 8 months, together with the other team members across the different functions. If that's required to be done, the more important aspect is what do you let him do and what you don't let him do. That's also important because it comes down to the kind of safety protocol or the aspect of that particular right to repair. I think it's more important if the definition goes correctly, then you won't have much of challenges. But the other challenge is that we always commit and write, that if you don't get it done from an authorized service center, your warranty will lapse, all that. But I think these consumer rights are going to change the situation in the coming times. And we'll have to actually adapt to that. But defining along with the industry and the ministry, saying that what is permissible to be done by him and what is not permissible to be done by him. So those rules and guidelines are still, many of them have been into place, but it'll take some time before that picture becomes clear. I think most of the OEMs are ready. There's been discussion around. So once that fog uplifts and you're clear on what is what, I think they've asked a lot of input from us, every OEM, and we've given a lot of inputs to the government, like what should be allowed to be done by themselves. I think it's kind of a prevalent way of DIY, which is very much prevalent outside. Can I change a filter myself? I think a customer can if he's educated. Can I change my oil myself? I think a lot of people do in. What debars us from not doing it is because the kind of amount per hour paid to a person or a workshop or the kind of labor rates we give, because of being intensive with people availability, it's not as far-fetched as a Europe or America where you charge $200 an hour just to service a car. So that also gives us a leverage as a country. So, but if these rules comes in, I think definitely we are well prepared. We are in liaison with the relevant quarters of the government or the industry. We are there on that. Thank you.
I know that is going to be a very difficult task for the OEMs, and there must be a lot of pressure. I won't say to hold this right to repair to come out, but still, I think it's going to take a lot of time. But ultimately, in the greater interest of the vehicle owner, this is a good beginning. It will be welcomed by everyone, including the aftermarket. We look forward to have that right to repair.
So, Deepti, all yours. Thank you. Sorry we extended, but I...
Can I ask one question, please?
अरे नरोला साहब, अरे सर आपको कैसे मना करेंगे सर?
Don't embarrass me like that, yeah. Firstly, with Vikrantt ji, you mentioned about supporting these workshops which are non-authorized by the OEMs and all. Can't there be
सर ये टर्म उनको अच्छी नहीं लगती सर?
हाँ?
ये टर्म उनको अच्छी नहीं लगती? Not authorized, aftermarket.
अच्छा, all right, okay. Sorry, I take
गुस्सा जाता है इनको?
Aftermarket workshops. I was just wondering, why can't there be some kind of a tie-up with OEMs where these workshops can upgrade themselves to be extension of OEM workshops? Maybe if they are far located, they can become like information center.
So we have given the suggestions whenever we meet these people from the service sector people. We are ready to take it up because we are put up in the places where they can never go.
That's what I was saying.
Right? They can never reach. But their vehicles are there, we are there. We are there to help.
Exactly.
So we would like to have them as a service point or a point where they can supply the parts.
Exactly. That's where I was getting at. I think one needs to work on this in a systematic way and make a proposal in such a way which can be seen by the OEMs. And because everybody, like Dimple said, they are in spree of expanding networks, so many
fair point,
ways.
Fair point, sir, fair point.
So, and even such workshops can be projected in such a way. They can be educated to project their workshops in such a way where the respective OEMs can come forward, say, I want to pick up at this and this place, I need my expansion to happen there. Because everyone has gone into the rural market, everybody is selling cars in rural market, and now vehicles are, because the road network has expanded so much, workshops are required.
Fair point.
No, bilkul theek hai sir. Tata Motors had once upon a time called Tata Authorized Service Point. And the point had the same purpose, कि भाई first aid का काम वहाँ पे हो जाएगा, गाड़ी कहीं भी हो. First aid. ठीक है ना? But they have removed that. Reasons good known to them.
No, in fact, what I would...
So same thing, same kind of thing can be done with all the people, all the car manufacturers.
Fair point, fair point, fair point. और वैसे भी Dimple सबसे शैतान बच्चे को ना monitor बनाते हैं class का, ठीक है ना?
Right? It's not removed, okay. We still have about 156 authorized service centers.
We've added 56. That's a lot.
I was one of them. I have been removed.
There would have been a reason to it. We'll take it offline out of the stage.
जैसे WhatsApp group से आता, you have been removed.
So
दिल पे लग जाता है.
Vikrantt sir, I think we should try to find out a way how to project these workshops, even if they need to be slightly upgraded financially or technically, skill upgradation and all that, and then project that particular workshop in that city, town or village and send it across to all the manufacturers that there is a facilities who are available and who are competent enough to take care of this thing. And instead of tying up directly with OEM, why not tie up with the dealers in that state or that city or something, so that they can
as a first aid
work as a sub dealer or sub workshop or something there.
One last question to Colonel Ashwini. I cannot say no to seniors. So sorry.
Anuj, I think you are running very short of time. You see, I have one small query with Harsh there. You mentioned about this LDP, and you said that it's not a profit-making. And it's a very useful thing for all, not only for your workshops or this thing. I have think, why can't it be made self-sustaining? And number two, why can't be there more or many LEPs which can help all the sectors, whether it is after sales or after market, or even the OEMs. So why can't there be more LEPs, not by you only, but by why others don't come up and open such centers?
Yeah, it's supported us very well. LEP.
Just once more, LEP is full form for everybody's convenience.
Yeah, learn and pay. Like the pass outs, the freshers who have done diploma, ITI, whatever, they don't want to go to any institute again, and they don't want to pay a fee also. So we have launched a program which is learn, earn, pay. Means from day one you will get your salary, and once you earn, then you pay in parts, maybe 2,000 rupees per month, 3,000 rupees per month. So that our idea is just to make them, samarth, saksham and swabhimani. हमने यही बचपन से सीखा है, स्कूल में भी यही सिखाया है, सब जगह यही सिखाया है. तो we try to incorporate these things into our system, and sir, definitely LEP is contributing a lot. Whatever we are able to do in last 4-5 years, it is just because of the freshers, because they have done wonders. Even a fresher service advisor passed out from a ITI is doing better labor part and the customer satisfaction than an experienced one. Just we need to drive them, and we have to have passionate trainers in our system so that they will take care of those freshers, because they are like bombs. They can do wonders for you. If you drive them rightly, they will be like a guided missile, and they will achieve their targets and they will win it. And in our dealership, our LEP, guys, they are, appreciated by CII and SIAM also on different platforms, because now they are earning around 60,000-70,000 rupees per month, which is really, commendable.
Great, fantastic. So I think, so how was the discussion? Did you like it? Was it useful? Yeah, bore ho gaye? Sir, Malik, please, Pari Bona, sir, please, we're totally out of time, sir. But out of us. अच्छा, oh, अरे sir. पुरुष नहीं महापुरुष. मैं अच्छा, एक Colonel Ashwini, sorry. अच्छा, one last. So just 15 seconds.
This is Colonel Ashwini from Scope. Mr. Anuj, you just now mentioned, like we were discussing about the suspension brake tester centers, we can also have scrapping units.
Exactly.
You mentioned about that. So my point on this was that there are more than 6 crore vehicles which are more than 15 years old in our country, and in Delhi itself there are more than 50 lakh vehicles in this category. Some of the vehicles are in a good condition. So getting them deregistered, the client, the customer really feels very bad if something can be done about this. So one of the things which can be done is conversion of these vehicles to electric vehicles. Like, once, long time back when the CNG kits have started, some of the workshops have started taking this. Now can after marketing vehicles think about this, that you can take up of having the kits for conversion of such vehicles to electric, so that they can again be registered.
That's a very good point, sir, but there were viability issue. That's why it kind of got nipped in the bud. But it's a good point, nevertheless.
Second, one more point, sir. Being from the army, I would just like to say that today happens to be Vijay Divas Day. So let us pay compliments to our proud brave hearts, Bangladesh, you have mentioned. And I also had the privilege of, during 71 war, serving in the country. Anyway, another question related to this is, just for the information, the additional load can also increase the profitability. Coming to this, what I'm saying now, army is now thinking of teeth to tail ratio. That means the infantry people, the artillery people who actually go to the battle should be much more than the people at the rear who service the vehicles, the various equipment and all. And we are going to disband a lot number of workshops which has already happened. Let us in Delhi, in the last year only, station workshop has been disbanded, which used to do more than 2,000 vehicles repair, after sales repair. So some of the units, either the OEMs or sales marketing vehicles workshops, they may be able to
Yes,
get
that's a good
this
point.
additional resource.
Yes, I think that's a good point. After this discussion, everybody should connect to Colonel Ashwini Sahab to get more business.
This additional load can be given. Yes.
Please connect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Please give a big round of applause for these wonderful men of this think tank who are sitting right before you, and I'm sure you all have enjoyed. Your smiles speak more than your actions. I want more action here to show some love for all these people who are sitting out here. Can I have a big round of applause for all of them one more time? Thank you. Your energy becomes my energy and my energy becomes yours. So we should work as a team. So when I ask you to clap, you need to show more love for all these people. They're your family. Ladies and gentlemen, moving ahead, I would like to invite representatives from Volkswagen India, Effort and Allianz. Volkswagen India, Effort and Allianz for felicitating these wonderful men on stage. And to begin with, I would like Mr. Vitaly Chebotarenko, Country Manager, Vehicle Repair and Maintenance, Henkel, India, to come forward. Thank you so much. The next one I would like to invite is Mr. Naveen Gupta, Founder and CEO, Intellinet Systems. Claps have ceased. The claps need to go on. And the next one that I would like to call on stage is Mr. Dimple Mehta, Customer Care Domestic and International, Tata Motors Pee-wee. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Dimple Mehta. Next, I would like to call on stage Mr. Vikrantt Mohan, National President, All India Automobile Workshops Association, IVASS. Harsh Vashist, Mr. Harsh Vashist, MD, Satyam Group. Thank you so much. If you're happy and you know it, you please try to show it. Someone who can represent Mr. Rajesh Bhat, Head After Sales Service, TVS Motor Company, who can come and pick the memento on his behalf. Thank you so much. I would request you all to please come forward for a group photograph. The representatives. This is a wonderful capture. Please transform your smiles, put your hands together and give a ginormous round of applause for this wonderful, wonderful Think Batteries. Thank you so much, everyone.